Good evening, Master, special guests, gentlemen of Warrane. Dr. Armin Alimardani. As you know, Armin has recently been awarded a Doctor of Philosophy degree in law, which is no mean accomplishment, and I'll say more about it later. I was going to inject a few lawyer jokes into this brief speech, but the problem with such jokes is that lawyers don't think they're funny and no one else thinks they're jokes. For instance, where can you find a good lawyer? The city morgue. What do you have when a lawyer is buried up to his neck in sand? Not enough sand. What do lawyers do after they die? They lie still. I'm being glared at by a couple of lawyers, so apologies, more or less sincere. But back to Armin. I feel partly responsible for his success because every Saturday morning I would encourage him to write 3 lines today, and he would. 100,000 lines later, he finished his thesis and submitted it for examination. For a doctorate, you have examiners who are external to the university and you don't know who they are. Armin's thesis was examined in record time and came back with the top classification from the examiners with no corrections to be required. It's most unusual and a remarkable achievement. Incidentally, I don't think that I ever saw him on a Sunday morning, but he did work every Saturday. There are 6 stages in the life of a PhD candidate. 1, excitement. 2, fright. 3, looking for someone to blame. 4, suddenly intellectually owning the topic. 5, successful completion. 6, glorification of the uninvolved, like me. Some facts about Armin. He was born on the 26th of March 1989 in Iran. He has a brother, Arish, who's 4 years older with a PhD in engineering, living in Canada, and a sister, Abishan, who's also living in Canada, 4 years younger, doing a Master of Laws degree. I won't reread his title because of the thesis, that'll add a couple of minutes to the talk. A cool fact he gave me is that he had to review 7,200 criminal judgments to collate those relevant to his thesis. He's very interested in gaming, and when he was doing his PhD, he used a gaming mindset. When you fail in a computer game, you try to understand what went wrong, how you can fix the problem, and then you try again and again and again until you win or pass that stage of the process. Armin arrived in Australia in February 2015. He came directly to Warrane for only 7 days. But here he is 4.5 years later. And the first rule of Warrane now is nobody messes with Armin. Just look at the moustache. He has some likes and dislikes about Australia in general and Warrane in particular. The Australian accent was the weirdest thing he encountered. In the airport when he arrived, he thought that he'd got the wrong flight to some other country because he couldn't understand a word. I might say it was mutual then. For instance, when the immigration officer at the airport said to Armin, Ashkan Madarat, Armin didn't know that this is Strine for, how's she going, mate, all right? Complete with our famous rising inflection. As well as the Aussie accent, he had to get to grips with idioms like not bad means very good. I'm sure there are many here who can relate to some of these problems. He's been living here for 4.5 years. He pointed out to me that HA still doesn't know that the majority of residents don't like mushroom and beans at breakfast. But he likes the fact that on the door in summers, the fee goes up by 10%, from $10 to $11. And he generally likes Sydney's weather, especially when it's hot, but sometimes he feels like the weather is drunk. Armin is very unlawyer-like in that he's very generous. Recently he freely helped an Iranian doctor friend of mine when she was fighting a family law case and needed help from someone who was fluent in both English and Iranian. I'll finish with a question. When lawyers die, why do they bury them 200 metres underground? The answer is because deep down they're really nice guys. Deep down, Armin is a really nice guy. We'll miss his cheerful presence and we wish him well.